Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political and general interest show, Korero. I am your regular host, Nkamiang John, the beloved, also known as the controversial. Now, a cross-section of Nigerians have expressed concern over the latest developments in Rivers State, South Nigeria, where the state governor, Similaye Fubara, was denied access to the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters. Now, Fubara, who had earlier pledged to implement last week's Supreme Court judgment, which includes the formal presentation of the 2024 budget, had gone to the Assembly quarters on Wednesday morning to represent the state 2025 budget, but was met with a locked gate, preventing his entry. Recent developments in Lagos, Osun, and Rivers, whereby some political actors who enjoy federal might are ridiculing state governors, is quite disturbing. On today's edition of the show, we will be looking at latest developments in Rivers State. And as always, the show is live and interactive on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are also streaming live on our website, www.rbnradiotv.com. Don't forget our official handle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and even on TikTok is at Official Rapid TV. The WhatsApp portal line is also available if you so choose to engage us via that portal. The number is 0916-771-6035. 0916-771-6035. The number's right there on the screen, so you can take advantage of our WhatsApp portal. Now, moving on. Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara was on Wednesday denied access to the official quarters of the State House of Assembly along Aba Road, Port Harcourt, where lawmakers loyal to his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, have been holding their sittings. Now, Fubara, who arrived at the complex in the company of top government officials, including the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, and his Chief of Staff, Edson Ehi, met a locked gate, effectively preventing his entry. Speaking to journalists at the scene, the governor accused Speaker Martin Amewule of deliberately avoiding him, stating that several calls had been placed to the lawmaker but went unanswered. The governor insisted that his actions were in the interest of the people, stressing that he remained committed to fulfilling his constitutional duties. After addressing the press, the governor and his entourage left the premises. Now, this video has been making the rounds on social media, but let's see how it went down yesterday when the governor went to the State House of Assembly to present the budget.
They should use the street inside. Nobody. Take, Richard.
Catching microphone. Catching microphone.
Just one second.
All right, wait,
Okay,
let's
let's go.
okay. Come on, come.
Gentlemen, let's stop. I'm here myself this morning with members of few members of the council to comply with the Supreme Court judgment. Before my arrival, I've already made several attempts by phone call to reach the Speaker and other members. I also did a letter personally which was transmitted to the Honorable Speaker for this particular application. But it's unfortunate that at the gate, you can see that the place is completely sealed and there's no sign that anything is going to happen today. The reason why we're doing this, I've always said it, is the interests of our people, which is the most important thing. Well, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Maybe they are working on the letter. I expect to hear from them maybe after this hour. Thank you.
Thank you.
Governor Similaye Fubara, of course, speaking to journalists after he was denied access to the official quarters of the State House of Assembly. And of course, Fubara announced that he communicated with the River State House of Assembly regarding the 2025 presentation, budget presentation, before arriving for the session. A letter was written to the River State House of Assembly by Governor Similaye Fubara before his now botched visit to the lawmakers on Wednesday had come to light. Dated March 11, 2025, and addressed to Speaker Martins Chike Amunwele. The letter was issued by the Office of the Governor and bears Fubara's personal signature. Titled Presentation of River State 2025 Budget to the River State House of Assembly, the document refers Fubara's statewide broadcast on March 2nd, 2025, in which he reaffirmed his commitment to implement the Supreme Court's verdict on the state's political crisis pending the receipt of the enrolled judgment orders. Meanwhile, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in the person of Nyesom Wike, dismissed the letter written to the Rivers State Assembly as rubbish. The former governor of Rivers State said that for peace to return to the state, the governor, Similaye Fubara, must do the right thing. According to him, Fubara must represent the 2025 budget to the State Assembly, led by Martins Amunwele, and also resubmit the names of his commissioners for clearance. Well, speaking with journalists in Abuja, Wike narrated how he picked Governor Similaye Fubara for the position, despite some politicians of Ijaw extraction kicking against the decision. He also said the Ijaws are minorities in Rivers State and the Niger Delta and stand no chance of becoming governors in any other state in the region apart from Bayelsa. Meanwhile, the Rivers State House of Assembly resumed plenary on Wednesday amid reports that lawmakers loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in the person of Nyesom Wike, prevented Governor Similaye Fubara from presenting the 2025 budget for the state. Now, a video obtained by Sahara reporters showed lawmakers already seated inside the chamber as the Speaker and other officials carried the mace, made their way into the hall. One of the lawmakers blasted the governor for inviting assembly members via social media. Let's get the reaction of one of the lawmakers.
Governor Similaye Fubara Joseph
his usual way of doing things. I know he disobeyed the court judgment of the High Court. He disobeyed the Court of Appeal. I know he will also disobey the Supreme Court. But the same constitution that gave the rules, regulations, and the powers to him to become the governor of Rivers State will still allow us to do the necessary thing. Of course, impeachment is not a dead sentence, for sure. He has disobeyed the High Court. He has disobeyed Court of Appeal. This is the Supreme Court. He has nowhere to go. Even if he goes to Sugar Abiyama, nothing can be said. But if he disobeys the judgment of Supreme Court, of course, the next thing is to follow the Constitution and do the necessary thing.
What is that necessary?
Of course, impeachment process must be served. But nothing more. It's not nothing.
The governor will be impeached.
Impeachment, according to the Constitution, if it disobeys, the court has ordered that 2024 budget has not been presented, 2025 budget has not been presented, 2024 has passed, and you know the consequences when you don't present budget before spending. That one is by the corner. Now it's 2025. The court has ordered it. And court even went ahead to say, present the budget to 3 or 4 of their friends. It is a joke taken too far. Now the Supreme Court has spoken. Let us wait for him. I know my speaker is a man of procedure. He will give him time to come and present. If he doesn't, the same power that the Constitution has given to us, Constitution is just straightforward. We can only lie against Constitution like Falana, the purported Attorney General, and Iguchinyere and Co. But the Constitution will always direct the River State House of Assembly on what to do next. And what to do next? If he refuses to present the budget, impeachment process must be served. Because River State must move forward. Not because of one ingrate that will just be, and for sure, austerity. Always say good about the 10th Assembly. Thank you, and God bless every one of us. Thank you. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to Rivers people. Yes. According to 1 Samuel 15:11, that God himself is not happy, regretted why he made Saul a king. Rivers people are not happy that we voted for him, because he has deviated from the norms. He has even deviated from the constitution that brought him to power. Yes. He has even deviated from everything about constitution. But the real time shall tell. And it is close. Thank you.
If you're just tuned in, this is Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, Korero. We are looking at the latest developments in Rivers State. The show, of course, is live and interactive on all our social media platforms, and you can be part of the conversation simply by following and liking Rapid TV on all our social media platforms. Remember, the handle is @official Rapid TV. Now, in a very decisive 62-page judgment delivered last Thursday, the Supreme Court of Nigeria provided a detailed rationale for restoring the leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly under Honorable Martin Amoihule, effectively ending months of legal and political wrangling that has crippled the oil-rich state of Rivers State. Now, the certified true copy CTC of the judgment obtained by the media reveals a critique of Governor Similaye Fubara's action and offers a robust defense of constitutional governance, spotlighting the apex court's unwavering commitment to the rule of law. Now, the ruling, penned by Justice Emmanuel Agim, dismantles the claim that 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Amewule, defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC, a charge initially leveled by Governor Similaye Fubara himself. Now, the court, according to the court judgment, the court found no iota or shred of evidence to substantiate this allegation, noting that Fubara voluntarily withdrew the defection claims during proceedings at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Now, this absence of evidence, coupled with Fubara's retraction, stripped the government's argument of any legal footing, paving the way for the court to reaffirm Amewule's leadership, widely seen as loyal to former Governor Nyesom Wike, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Now, Justice Agim's judgment goes beyond the defection issue, painting a broader picture of what the court views as a deliberate attempt by Fubara to undermine the legislative arm of Rivers State. The court ruled that the 1999 Constitution, as amended, does not permit a House of Assembly to function with only 4 members, a position Fubara had adopted by recognizing a rival faction led by Victor Oko Jumbo. Now, the court found that Fubara's exclusion of the 27 Amwele's-led lawmakers predated the defection allegation, with actions such as preventing their sitting, demolition of the assembly complex deemed illegal and unconstitutional by prior court of appeal rulings. This timeline, the court argued, exposes Fubara's reliance on Section 102 and Section 109 of the Constitution, along with the doctrine of necessity, as a red herring to perpetuate his, according to the court, brazen subvention of the legislature. Now, Section 102, which allows a House to act despite vacancies, was deemed inapplicable to a scenario where over 90% of the members were illegally excluded. Now, the doctrine of necessity rejected Fubara's invocation of the doctrine of necessity, a legal principle used in extraordinary circumstance to preserve public interests, which drew particular from the court. Agim dismissed it as an attempt to justify a deliberate, contrived, illegal, or unconstitutional status quo. He clarified that the doctrine applies only to genuine, unforeseen situations, not to self-inflicted crises like Fubara's fear of impeachment by the Assembly. Political disagreements cannot justify, according to Judge Agim, and I'm quoting him now in the judgment, that political disagreements cannot justify these attacks and contempt for the rule of law by the governor of a state or any person, end of quote. Now, the judgment asserts that the courts, based on the court's analysis, by shutting down the assembly complex, blocking access, and aligning with a minority faction, Fubara effectively dismantled the legislative arm, leaving Rivers State without a functioning government. Now, the Supreme Court's restoration of the Amumwele's led assembly carries significant consequences, affirming the Federal High Court's ruling in that suit. Now, the court ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is no news, everybody knows, the CBN, and the Accountant General of the Federation to withhold all funds to the state until an appropriate or appropriation law is enacted by a properly constituted assembly. Now, this financial stranglehold aims to compel compliance with constitutional norms, effectively tying Fubara's hands until he engages with the 27 lawmakers. Now, additionally, the court mandated that Amuwele and the 26 other members resumed their legislative duties unhindered, and that the assembly resumed sitting with all elected members forthwith. This directive not only reinstates the status quo, but also signals an end to Fubara's attempt to govern through what you could refer to as a rump legislature. But in as much as the Supreme Court, which is supposedly the highest court of the land, in its ruling, has said that it found no iota of shred of evidence to substantiate the allegation of defection by the 27 lawmakers, noting that Fubara voluntarily withdrew the defection claims during proceedings at the Federal High Court in Abuja, and that the absence of evidence coupled with Fubara's retraction stripped the governor's argument of any legal footing, paving the way for the court to reaffirm Amam Muele's leadership while listing as loyal to former Governor Nyesom Wike, of course, who is now the Minister of the FCT. Now, this may have a boomerang effect, as the defected lawmakers now have hidden under this ruling to deny that they defected, or suggesting that this in itself could turn out to be a case of perjury and contempt of court. Many say that in the days ahead, this could be seen or could be presented as admissible evidence as the legal battle in the case of defection of the 27 lawmakers continues to rage on. So, at this point, it is common knowledge that these 27 lawmakers defected, even though they now deny that they didn't defect. But let's watch this report and video and see whether this supposed act of perjury will slip through the cracks, especially now as we heard the lawmakers' reaction as they plot the graph to impeach the governor.
27 of us in the State House of Assembly never defected to any other party. We were elected under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, and we never defected. We never took any step to defect to any other party.
They are members of the All Progressive Congress, and by that very fact, I am their chairman, and so they are within my presence of authority. They are under my presence. They are under the umbrella called, or the broom, or whatever, because maybe we won't be given to speak English. Oh, it's the umbrella now, they will think we are talking about PDP. They are under the broom called APC. And if they are under the broom called APC, I am in charge.
Some days ago, we defected inside the Hollow Chamber of the River State House of Assembly in line with Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution as ordered. We made sure that we followed due process. We made sure that we did not do anything outside provisions of the 1999 Constitution.
The undue pressure on the judiciary by politicians is giving the citadel of justice a bad image and making it lose the confidence of the people of Nigeria. A case easily cited is the River State crisis, which raised the fear that the judiciary may ultimately undermine democracy. In that case, 27 former members of the River State House of Assembly announced their defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the platform on which they were elected, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. In their letters of resignation from the PDP, the 27 Assembly members cited a division in the PDP as the reason for their decision.
Distinguished colleagues, the reason for the defection by the 27 members of this House are purely in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as altered, specifically Section 109. And the House has already before this time deliberated on all the issues in the PDP, and we feel there is sufficient division, and for that reason, members have the choice to move to the All Progressive Congress as already indicated in these letters.
In a bold step to reaffirm their defection, the former lawmakers swore an affidavit before the Federal High Court in Abuja to prove their earlier defection on the floor of the Assembly. This is conclusive evidence of their decampment and perjury in view of their futile efforts to deny it after realizing the damage of their action. Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Edison Ehie, as he then was, followed the constitutional path to declare their seats vacant and conveyed to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the need to conduct by-elections to fill the vacated seats.
We are aware that there is no division or crisis in our great party, the People's Democratic Party, and therefore the provision of Section 109, Sub 1, Paragraph G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended attracts invocation of the seats of these 7 members of the House. Consequently, distinguished colleagues, the House, having deliberated formally on the motion before it in line with our standing order and the Constitution of 1999 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I hereby declare the seats of affected members of the Rivers House of Assembly vacant.
Their defection was further confirmed by a statement credited to President Bola Tinubu during his intervention in the Rivers crisis. One of the points raised in the peace brokered between Wike and Fubara by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was protecting their new status as APC members. Paragraph 3 of the agreement reads, "The leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amehule, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP." The instructive words in that paragraph state, "The 27 members who resigned from the PDP." There is evidential proof that the defected lawmakers attended an APC rally at the Port Harcourt Polo Club, where they were officially received and welcomed into their new party.
We have 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly that defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress APC. 27 of us. Our assembly members that have defected to us, 27 of them, they are free to meet anywhere.
With this broom, which is the symbol of our party, that we shall sweep River State. Yes. Yes. So that River State shall be greater.
Of course, there are other developments with regards to development, this unfolding drama in Rivers State. At this point, just to let you know that even the president or the presidency has waded into the matter and in a bid to be able to bring some sanity to the development. Of course, as I said, that video that we played earlier of Governor Fubara arriving the complex of the State House of Assembly and being denied access went viral yesterday and formed a major part of the conversations that, went around across the country. And of course, let's not forget, right now, Nigeria seems to be in the focal eye of the entire world. Prior to yesterday's development, of course, the Akpabio-Natasha drama has continued to cause ripple waves to the point that it has now moved from the shores of Nigeria to the international community. So it's one that key watchers are looking at with keen interest, with the hope that at some point we may be able to bring some lasting solution to this unfolding drama. of course, Nigeria's political landscape continues to witness dramatic turn of events, especially in Rivers State, where the State House of Assembly is said to have denied the governor access. Not said, we saw it. We've seen it in the video. The governor didn't have access to be able to present the 2025 budget as directed or instructed by the judgment of the Supreme Court that was issued last Thursday. So the development, of course, underscores deep-seated tension in the state amidst former Governor Nyesom Wike's criticism of Fubara's leadership. But as I said, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged all parties to respect the rule of law and prioritize peace as far as developments in the state is concerned. Now, while Rivers State was seemed to be the focal point yesterday, the president met with the Lagos State House of Assembly, members of the Lagos State House of Assembly. That may just be our conversation tomorrow, as the details of that meeting have begun to emerge, and it is quite interesting to see the fallout. Of course, we are made to understand, when I say we, the media, we're made to understand that some agreement has been reached in terms of the fact that, of course, Right Honorable Obasa remains the Speaker, and Mr. President has asked for calm, and he has even asked the Honorable Speaker to withdraw the lawsuit that he had instituted against his deputy, who was Speaker for a very short period, based on the fact that he alleged that she had expended the sum of 5 billion naira. But of course, further investigations revealed that the said sum of 5 billion naira was expended on purchase of vehicles, which the current speaker, Right Honorable Obasa, had actually projected 7 billion naira. So right now, eyebrows are being raised that, okay, if you had said you were going to spend 7 billion and then your successor now, deputy, spends 5 billion, you should be thanking your deputy for being prudent and, saving you 2 billion naira. But of course, like I said, that might just be the conversation tomorrow on the show. And let's not forget, in the wings, the Akpabio-Natasha drama still is floating. We hear that the IPU have invited the Senate President to come and give his own side of the story. But reports suggest that the Senate President may not be honoring that invitation. But we're keeping our ears to the ground and our searchlight beamed on developments as all of these dramas continue to unfold. It's like an onion, we're peeling it layer by layer. Now, to wrap up today's edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, Korero, the Supreme Court's ruling is a masterclass in constitutional interpretation, reaffirming the sanctity of the 1999 Constitution over political expediency, right? So, by rejecting Fubara's maneuvers, in the manner the court has described it, the court has bolstered the separation of powers, ensuring that no single arm, particularly the executive, can unilaterally dismantle another arm of government. Now, the emphasis on evidence or lack of it thereof in the defection saga highlights a judicial unwillingness, or the judiciary being unwilling to be swayed by political theater, a stance that could set a precedence for future disputes. Let's not forget, the subject of defection has always been controversial, considering the fact that the Constitution seems to be ambiguous when it comes to the subject of defection. Some aspects makes it clear, while some aspect gives certain impetus to defection. But what matters for those of us and political watchers across the country and even outside the country is how the court seems to have legalized illegality. We've just given you proof. We've heard it from the horse's mouth themselves. I mean, the good book, the Bible, just as the honorable member of the River State House of Assembly quoted the Bible, I also want to quote for him that the Bible says you cannot speak from two sides of the mouth. On one side, the honorable speaker said they did not defect. But on the other side, we saw them receive the broom. We saw them at the rally. Even the agreement that was signed by all parties involved under the watchful eye of Mr. President clearly indicated that they had defected. Are these not admissible evidence enough to show that there is a case with regards to what is truly happening in the River State House of Assembly? Nigerians are already suggesting that as far as justice is concerned, it doesn't really exist in Nigeria. It only exists if you can afford to buy it. So we are watching to really understand how the court chose to interpret developments in the manner it has chosen. Yet, this decision is not without controversy. Critics, including some River State stakeholders like the Pan-Niger Delta youths, have called it a declaration of war on the state, arguing that it entrenches the influence of the former governor, Nyesom Wike, now Minister of the FCT, at the expense of Fubara's administration. The financial embargo, in particular, risks paralyzing governance, potentially fueling unrest in an already volatile region. Now, Fubara, while pledging to implement the Supreme Court judgment, has expressed disagreement, hinting at further tension. For the Speaker of the House and his allies, the ruling is seen to be a triumph, validating their claim to legitimacy and reinforcing their alignment with Wike's political machinery. However, it also places them under scrutiny to deliver on legislative duties amidst a polarized climate. So at this point, the question would be, are they fighting, or is this fight for the interest of Rivers people, or is it for personal interest? Big question. Anyway, the Supreme Court's judgment is more than a legal victory for the 27 lawmakers. It is a clarion call for adherence to constitutional governance by exposing Fubara's action as unconstitutionally overreaching and overbearing. The court has sought to restore balance to Rivers State's fractured political landscape. Has it? Because what we saw yesterday does not suggest that the court has succeeded in its attempt to restore balance, as it were. Whether this ruling heals or deepens the state's wounds remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. The battle for the soul of Rivers is far from over. As the 27 lawmakers resume, all eyes will be on how this saga reshapes power dynamics in Nigeria's turbulent South-South region. And that sums it up for today's edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving social-political and general interest show, Korero. Of course, my special thanks to the entire production team for ensuring that we were able to bring you this program, incisively as possible. But trust us to keep our promise of keeping our ears to the ground and our searchlight beamed on developments as they evolve. You never know what just might happen tomorrow, who might be our guest on the show. I won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. So, a little suspense. Tomorrow promises to be interesting, incisive, and of course, as we continue to encourage you to be part of our online community, so keep the conversation going. Don't forget, even when the show goes off the air, the conversation continues online. Until tomorrow, when we come your way with another incisive edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show Korero. I am Nkamiang John the Beloved, also known as the Controversial, signing out.